What's up, everybody? It's Stefan Pacheco, also known as Steph the Pharaoh. Today, this is episode 30 of the Luxic Vue Podcast. I'm really excited, mainly because we've been planning this for a little bit, but we got a lot of big things. A lot of you guys know I'm one of the official sponsors at the 559 fights. We have a big upcoming fight, May 13th. It's going to be televised. My TV. 53 is going to be broadcasting this, but today I have Martine Sandoval out of Porterville, California. We're really excited, number one, because we have that upcoming fight. You know, you're the champ. We're here. You know, Luxic Vue Podcast is episode 30, and I told you over the phone, 2 weeks ago, I was like, you know, Martine, I'm excited. I turned 30 years old this year, so episode 30.
It's a special one.
It's a special one, and I mean, you've gotten really far with, you know, amateur fighting going pro. We have a lot of excitement, you know what I'm saying, around the whole sport. We have MMA happening in the Central Valley. We have people coming from all over to challenge, you know, here in the Valley. 559 fights is a big promotion. How long have you been involved with the 559 fights?
My last fight was it was when I hit a year, so only like a year.
Only a year?
Yeah, pretty much. When I started training MMA and stuff, like fully on.
And before that, I mean, you were predominantly doing wrestling,
just wrestling,
right?
Yeah, just wrestling.
I mean, I've seen you, you know, here and there. You've been in sports all your life. We were joking about it, you know, a while back. We're like, hey, you know, we used to play football together. And the number one thing I admire the most about you chasing your dreams with mixed martial arts is, I know that we talked a little bit about it, but it takes a lot of dedication in order to put your body on the line, put your, you know, your mindset in that specific zone, getting ready for action. What was it for you, you know, that lit the fire underneath you to go and you know, endeavor into mixed martial arts?
I would say just me growing up, how I grew up, you know, doing sports all the time and just wrestling. You know, you gotta have that competitive, you know, spirit about you. But wrestling has helped me out a lot, you know, transition to MMA but I would say lit the fire is just me not being able to wrestle no more, you know. So you still want to compete, you still want to achieve something, or, you know. Still,
and you wrestled in college too,
right? Yeah. So as soon as I got finished with wrestling, there's no other outlet for wrestling besides the Olympics, you know. So, and I went to a 559 fight after I was doing wrestling, so I was like, oh, I got to do this, you know, like I got to get in. So that ever since then, I just.
So how long were you wrestling for? Like, I know you did it since you were younger, but when did you actually start?
I started at 5-6 years old. Yeah, I started wrestling real early, and then I actually started at Menachie.
Like as a kid?
As a kid, yeah. Oh, wow. For the kids club, and then like 5th grade, I went to Porterville, went with Vanny, and then started wrestling ever since then. Was
there something about wrestling that brought out, like, because I mean, I did short term, but I trained jiu-jitsu for a little bit, and I feel like the relation there, what I learned was like, there was a lot of discipline, but there's nothing like it to where there's like that controlled violence. You know what I'm saying? Let out that aggression that we all as men and women have in us. It's by nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to fully express yourself.
Right? Like, there's nothing like that feeling after like a good 5-10 minute. It's pretty interesting. But did you find that early on, like for yourself?
Yeah, it's cool to say that, because like wrestling, that's where I found that, like to want to like fully oppose the will, you know, like really take it to your opponent. Like, this is wrestling. And even as a kid, there was like little tough kids everywhere. Like every weekend we'd be going to wrestling tournaments, you know. So like every weekend there's just one other little tough kid that's just whipping everybody. So it's like, I want to get that kid, you know. So it's like, it's just crazy. So ever since then, it's always been competitive, the wrestling world, you know. And then we all grew up wrestling each other through middle school, high school.
Wow.
And then
you would see a lot of the same
college,
people?
Even, like a lot of college wrestlers, like my grade, we were all a lot of like good D1 college athletes that I wrestled since a kid, you know. So
wow. Yeah. So you really see who made it.
Yeah, through, exactly. I got to see
who earned their stripes and who. Wow.
So, yeah, wrestling is a small world, but it's
see, and that's a whole different topic, right? Like. MMA in general too. Like, once I started training jiu-jitsu a little bit, I started meeting other people, meeting fighters. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're engulfed in the environment and you see everybody, and it's like, that's what I loved, and that's why I became like a sponsor. I was sponsoring fighters for a long time since we started, but it wasn't essentially me as my partner John. We had some friends back then that we were sponsoring, and then, you know, once I moved back to the 559, I really loved it. I've always been an MMA fan. I remember growing up watching Anderson Silva when I was a kid.
Yeah,
it's funny that you mentioned, though, wrestling when you were 5 years old. So I know we're a little, like, I'm 30 now. How old are you right now?
28.
28, okay. I knew you were a little older than my sister because I don't know if I mentioned, but we're cousins, we're related. But when you mentioned you were 5 years old wrestling, it takes me back. So I must have been 7, and I clearly remember at our aunt Nooney's house when we were kids, you beating my ass and like getting dirt in my face, like you know what I'm saying? I was always taller too, a little bit, but I mean, man, my dad was like, get up, and I wasn't a wrestler, but my dad would, you know, hey, he's tough, and you know,
but I was probably like, I don't know. I don't remember that one. I probably like was just practicing my moves.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. But there was,
like,
you know, a lot of good times, man. But that's why, like, looking back, it's awesome to see that you've stuck with it. That truly, like, you could tell you're passionate about it, or else I don't think that you would have that drive, you know, in order to do this, because it's a hard thing, you know. One thing I want to talk about too, a lot of what, you know, at Luxic Vue we talk about is trials and tribulation and empowering other people to get past those hurdles. And ultimately having people become the best versions of themselves just by what we post, what we talk about, who we surround ourselves with. And for yourself, I seen something in you like for a very long time, and even more so now, because like you've been an amateur, you know, now for about a year. You had one fight and you took one loss. And I love seeing people come back from those, you know, shortcomings, whatever you might call it. Although I don't really,
you have to face some adversity.
Exactly. You know? Although I don't really agree with the decision on that one, but you know what I'm saying? Like you took it, you took that L, you made the most of it, and we're here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're here now. It showed in your last fight against Christian Paez out of Fresno, I believe. I watched that one back and I seen everything, and it was awesome because I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, you overcome the adversity, you overcame it, and now you're here. You know, next fight, you're going to be defending that title. You excited for that?
Yeah, definitely pumped up. But it just I look at it like you saying, like, to come back from that. I just look at all these matches. This is a stepping stone to get where I want to be. You know, so,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna face some, like, maybe you know, hopefully not, but I'm gonna face some adversity or some tough matches or whatever, where I'm always gonna have to get better. So every match I just look at it as like a learning. You know, I don't take no losses. I just take learning lessons, you know.
That's perfect.
That's what got to keep it going.
That's something that we can apply in our everyday life, because it's not necessarily a loss, right? Like, obviously on record and everything. But, but in the moment, it's like, what did you lose? You're still continuing to do it every day. And that's one of the crazy parts about this sport, you know. We see all these pro athletes that are like undefeated, and then more recently, like one of the fights, I don't know if I'm sure you watch boxing, you know, you're probably, but do you see the
Taken Ryan?
Yeah. So it's
cool.
always cool seeing, you know, the positives from that, right? Like you said, you take that, you readjust, because in life, like, shoot, I have if we took business and we put records, like I made too many L's, you know, I took too many L's in business up until this point to where, like, hey, I'm able to do these things, you know, right? But so kind of take me back a little bit, because you were talking about when you were a kid, you were talking about how, you know, you would come up and you would look forward to seeing other strong people in other areas. Like, talk to me a little bit about that, because I don't think a lot of people like to face challenges like that. Me, looking back, like when you said that, I'm like, I kind of looked at life as a kid a little bit different. You know, I was looking to take down the strongest people, you know?
Right. No, but I was like, I would want to face that tough kid, but it was like, I was still like a kid, you know? I still was like, damn, I don't want to do that. Like, you know what I mean? But you just keep going. You keep going to these tournaments. They keep taking these tournaments. So it's you just develop it. Like, hey, I'm not going to let him. It's a fight almost. I'm not going to let him keep beating me, you know? So I gotta.
So either way, it's like you just had to face that discomfort that you felt.
Because you know the other kid's just as scared as you know? Like, so.
Wow.
It just. The difference is who comes on top is the person that just does what he's been training to do, even though he's scared. Like, but he's been training, putting in the work. It just comes natural, kind of. It seems like it comes natural, But it really does, you know, when you put in that work.
Once I feel like a lot of muscle memory, I'm sure, in ways, like it's just like, we were talking a little before this, and I was talking about your last fights, and I was watching them, replaying them, and I'm like, man, your moves are so smooth. You could tell you've been training your whole life. I mean, I could tell, because I was telling you also too, like I wasn't worried when I see you. There's other times like when you watch other fights, you're like, dang, cover up or what, you know what I'm saying? But for you, it's like you're slipping punches, you know, you're taking them down, you're exposing your will on the people. But I think that's one of the things that interests me, because talk to me a little bit about the mindset that it takes you to train. Like I know right now you're in training for your next fight.
I don't know. It has to be like you said. You gotta have like a lot of discipline, but it's like a mindset where you're trying to get yourself in the best situation you're at right now, and then setting yourself up for the future. Like so, you're trying to put in the work so that way when the time comes, you're gonna be ready for it. You know, I just try to vision in my mind like how I wanted to play out, and then just keep going over it in my head. And even the bad situations, I play it over my head and just try to practice certain things or do things a certain way, you know, just to keep that on mind, because you don't want to go out there and just get tired out, gas out, because that's what I learned from that second match. I remember that second match with Martine Sandoval.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was out of Dethrone too, right?
Yeah.
They have a lot of great fighters. I know Alejandro out there is doing a lot of good things too.
Yeah.
But I did see that fight. Yeah. I didn't notice. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I was gassed at that. After that, they'll tell you, bro. Like I was gassed. So I learned I do things different every fight. Like, you know, so just having that growth mindset, just getting better every day, just, you know.
And that's a real, like I said, I think I said it before, but that's an important thing, I think, in anything, because oftentimes we don't get the results right away.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the hard part.
Absolutely.
To keep that in your mind, you know,
that focus for the future goal, right? It's like delayed gratification.
Yeah,
it's like let's prepare, let's move forward and recalculate if we hit a roadblock, right? But for a lot of people, depending on what they do, they don't have that in them. What would you say is something that you've done or that you were taught by your dad? Because I know that he's been probably one of the biggest mentors in this space, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I see him at every fight, every corner, you know, along with your brother Joey, the family. It's awesome to see that you have such a great support system as well. And which I'll touch on. I know that there are a lot of other fighters out there too, and even some that we've had on this podcast, where they talk about the family support in the beginning, like where they didn't have it. Would you say that you've always had family support behind it?
Yeah, definitely. My dad's he's been, you know, a big part of my success, you know. So since a kid, he's been on me doing sports. Just either I'm throwing passes this way, that way, 5 and outs, or I'm hitting the baseballs, you know. So every time, like he's showing me something. Every sport I'm doing, every season, he's telling me how to do it, what to do, blah, 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 you know. So every sport I'm going, all right, let's try this one. And he just knows, I don't know, he just knows a lot about the sports, you know. He's an athlete himself.
But he was at one point, I think,
you know,
he was our coach when we played football. And
he's always been coaching all of us, you know, so.
I mean, that dates us, you know what I'm saying? To where he had that, like, just being able to, as a father, unconditionally, like, give that energy. Like, not a lot of parents would do that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even then, like, I wasn't really big into sports, but I remember, I was telling you, I remember being motivated because he was, like, related to us. I'm like, oh, okay. So I remember I tried a few different positions, and you know, I played a receiver. I remember that we actually won quite a bit of games. Like, I wasn't even a receiver, man. I don't know what he saw in me, but he's like, hey, and it was me and you were quarterback at that time, but we made a good team, you know what I'm saying? And he saw that, and he had that eye, and I think that's the coolest, because even now, I'm 30, imagine he was probably our age or younger, right? When we were out there.
That's crazy.
And he was just like, hey, I'm gonna give all it, and he wasn't an easy coach. He made us run.
No, he still makes the kids run all day, but he just has that coach mentality in him too, because he's just, even other kids that were on my team, they weren't getting the advice that I was getting to know how to do these certain things. but he would still coach him and bring him up like anybody.
Yeah, he didn't
you know,
ever
so-
like, you know how teams have favorites and stuff.
Right.
He punished everybody and he loved everybody.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I'm
I got it more harder than anybody on the team.
I bet.
because
No,
it's
I
like,
bet.
You better, you do, you know. So
Because out there, like even then as a
be a
kid,
leader.
I
Like, tell him
remember.
to be a leader. pretty
I
much.
remember like you didn't ever really hesitate. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Even then, I remember I was like, what are we doing? You know, like scared, and you were just like, boom, like you already knew.
Yeah.
Like very much so how he like passed it on to you. Would you say he plays a big role in this like sport, or even like for your love of it? Like,
Yeah, different. Because even when he was teaching me and making me go out and like do these runs for wrestling or
Yeah.
do passes or baseball, it wasn't feeling like practice. It was just feeling like we're playing, you know. So, but he was coaching me everything. He's coaching me up, telling me different stuff, you know. Same thing I do with my kids nowadays, you know. So it just, definitely he helped me build the passion for it, and ever since then, it was easy for him too, because I just love the sport too. So as long as I love it, and it just goes hand.
there was
in
no
hand,
friction, right?
Right. There was definitely friction.
Oh,
but it was,
yeah?
No, not really. Like I loved it, but it's like if I mess up and you get on me, I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna go perform. You know. So
Yeah.
It's that type of friction, but not really like where I don't want to do it, and he's forcing me to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to do it, and he loves doing it. So.
I would say that you don't
worked good.
really see a lot of like, I mean, not to say that there are not parents out there, right? You're a parent, which is actually awesome, I think, because that showcases, to me that like, number one, you have to be all loving, you have to have family time. And that adds to the discipline that we were talking about, because you have to find time to train and get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? And stay in shape. And I know that's not easy with working a job, and doing all of these things to provide. Tell me a little bit about that, about the family life.
No, that's why I'm really just training with my dad and my brother, because my schedule's crazy, bro. Like, so I go to work on the weekends and then come back, family time, I'm training in between when I get out of work, or sometimes I even run to work or something, run back to work.
My dad actually says he sees you running. He's like, I see him getting ready.
Right.
That's awesome.
But no, like, I don't know. It's just been since wrestling. I've always been in season. There's not too many years I've been like off season and not doing something or not training for something.
Would you say that that's kept you motivated throughout your life, like being physically in shape as well?
Yeah. Because I see a lot of kids that were wrestling with me, and then they stop competing, and then you see them get out of shape when they try to come in the room or something. So it just in me to keep. My goal is to keep staying in shape, like just make it a lifestyle. Might as well make it a lifestyle of keep staying in shape, and it's good for your body. And,
absolutely, to where you're not gaining all this weight. And I would imagine, like you said, you've been wrestling forever. I mean, you wrestled in high school, right? College.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where did you end up wrestling D1 at for college?
I didn't wrestle D1. I wrestled D3 at D3.
Okay.
But after high school, I went to Fresno City. I did 3 years there, and then I did 3 years there. Transferred to Wahlberg College in Iowa, and then wrestled there, D3 there.
Did you like it out there?
It was a culture shock for sure at first. Yeah, but it kind of grew on me. I kind of want to go back now.
Really?
Yeah, but
what would you say you liked?
But just to get out, just go and. I would like the outdoors. It's really like outdoors.
Wow. I've never lived out of California for a little bit. I mean, I've traveled, Texas, New York, North Carolina. How was the weather out there?
Oh, it's freaking cold, bro.
Yeah,
it's cold. It's freezing. It's like it was like the coldest guy was like -20 out there in Iowa. So the cold, I don't miss the cold, but like I got into fishing out there real big.
Oh, so like more mountains, right?
No, it's all flat. It's like
I'm thinking of Montana.
Yeah, Montana has mountains.
As you can tell, I'm not really thinking of the map, so I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was like in the middle of nowhere.
Dang. So
but it was pretty cool, like just to have a different experience to get out of California.
Out of the valley, you know what I mean? I mean, born and raised, we grew up here. I moved out too. Would you say that added to like maybe your motivation to continue?
Yeah, because it showed me that it's not just here in Porterville. There's stuff out there, to move, the different people to meet, like, So it's cool to be able to have that experience and come back and share it with.
I mean, I didn't get to move out of state, but I witnessed that for myself. And I like that you're saying like, hey, go out, explore, do things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
'Cause you always come back.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're not trees, right? We can move. We can literally move. And that's part of why I talk about, you know, motivation, for example. That's why I talk about a lot of these things, because in life, I feel like a lot of people don't take life, you know, by the steering wheel and go where they want to go. I feel like sometimes, even me, I've been guilty of it, where we let life kind of just pass us by and we don't really have a clear goal. But in having goals and setting those, you know, setting those goals and trying to achieve them, we're, you know, hitting milestones, and we're able to, again, do things that we want to do with passion to get to where we want to go. Now, I know the big fight's coming up. I'm excited. We're going to be there. We're going to be there with the family, with everybody that wants to show up. What message do you want to share to the world?
I don't know. Just do what you want to be. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be, but be passionate about it. As long as you're passionate about it, find something you're passionate about, and go for it, man. You know, that's all I can really say right now, because that's.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally feel like in this life, man, sometimes like I do a lot of traveling for work, so I go and I'll meet these people, and everybody's human, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's human. We all have to do something to make money, right? But what are we doing outside of that, right? Like, for example, this is outside of that, and so that to me, it's awesome to see people that I know, family, going in and doing something outside for, like, you know, making leaps and bounds for bigger strides, right? Yeah. It's like you have to risk it, you know, for the biscuit.
Yeah, you gotta get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly. And I mean, shoot, man, seeing you, I was super excited watching you win the championship belt. I remember afterwards, like, there was a whole crowd in the stadium.
Yeah, they kicked us out, man. They kicked us out.
I mean, it looked like we were riding. It looked like we were riding home with the family. We just had everybody show up. You know what I'm saying?
That was dope, man.
We closed it out.
And that's another reason why I do it too, because as soon as I was already gonna do, even without, you know, just my family support.
Yeah.
But like, to see the whole family come to, you know, that's pretty cool. Like, just to bring everybody cool, you know,
right,
together.
And I mean, you're putting Porterville
shout out
on
to the family. You know?
Yeah, shout out to the family. You're putting Porterville on the map, man. You know, you're Porterville, born, raised. You know, and the 559 fights is out here in the Central Valley. I mean, we're definitely making statements. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you're prepared. You're ready for this next bout. If you want tickets, definitely contact us. Contact Martine. We're looking at closing this out, getting as much people out there as we can. Yeah, you're making more gear, right? For people if they want to support.
Yeah, you could hit me up if you want a shirt. Let me know your sizes.
Perfect.
You know, and then shout out to Matt Mechanics. We got a new wrestling club too. So.
Okay, out of Porterville as well.
Yeah, Porterville High School.
Okay,
so my dad, me,
tell us
my
a little bit about
sister.
that. If people are interested in getting together, learning wrestling fundamentals, even training to just get in shape, what all are you guys offering out there?
We're it's like a freestyle club, wrestling for K through 8.
Okay.
You know, we just started with the kids because you know, just to get back to the sport. Like, I see a lot of there's no more claws. You know, that's where I grew up, going into freestyle clubs.
Oh, wow.
That's what really helped me become a better wrestler. You know, is the basics that I learned. It really molded me how I wrestled when I got to college and throughout my wrestling career. But so that's why I want to go back to the kids. Start off with the kids.
And that's where it starts, right?
And build the program there. All leads up a feeder to high school. You know.
It's kind of cool seeing your whole family in the sport. I mean, I know a lot of people that know you, they know that all of you, your brother, your sister, you guys all wrestled, right?
Yeah. My sister, she was all the freestyle high school. She's the only girl that placed, what was it, Joey?
She's a 4-time state placer.
4-time state placer.
Wow.
Yeah. At Porterville High School.
That's
only
massive.
Girls. So I've been helping her out with this past year with the girls' high school team.
Okay.
The wrestling. So we just seen how different it is since we were in there, you know?
Yeah.
It's totally different generation. So now we're like, we need to start from scratch. Like, that's what's missing. So we're going to build it.
That's awesome that you guys found and, like, are willing to give back like that. If you think about it, like, a lot of people, man, when they're done with work, they want to go hang out, you know. And that's me too, you know, all the time. But to be committed to giving back and helping other generations, other kids, I'm sure they'll thank you later, you know, like not even just for the skills, but just for that time, that effort. Just like I was thinking of your dad, like back then, like, man, you know, he taught me to like not give up, you know, and not to be scared of a lot of people back then.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know. Like, no matter, even if you don't continue wrestling out, at least you take something from it, or, you know, we're passionate about it, so we're gonna give you good, you know, good nuggets to go on
good wisdom. So when is that for people that are interested that check out this podcast? That's in Porterville at Porterville High School?
Yeah, Porterville High School.
Porterville High School
at 5:30 Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay, awesome. So we'll definitely, you know, hopefully we get some people out there to just train. Do you guys charge? What is it? I don't know how that works.
Just show up, and then we have a flyer you guys fill out.
Okay.
It's like the freestyle tournament. It lasts till like from the first session is like from March to June, and then we might do another session.
Okay.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
we'll sign you up.
For anybody that's interested, definitely check it out. We'll plug Martine's contact info in the description. Now, I mean, it's been awesome having you. 559 fight coming up. Any last?
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Any last words that you can, like, anybody watching right now? Like, I know you said, hey, be passionate, follow your dreams, do what you want to do, right, to become the best version. But is there anything else, like one last gem that you can leave them with? I know you're busy as well.
Dang, like
anything?
None. Yeah, just be you, represent yourself, and always stay true. You know.
Perfect. So we're looking at collecting this next win. Martine, thank you so much for coming on the Luxic Vue Podcast. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
With that being said, everybody, we're going to wrap this one up. May 13th. If you like what you see here, like, subscribe, follow Martine, follow the team. Embrace now, doubt kills, and live your legacy.
Yeah.